Imagine you're holding an ordinary nickel, something you might pass over without a second thought. But what if I told you that one unassuming nickel from 1964 could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.4 million? Yes, that's right. $1.4 million star. Just picture it, a single coin changing your life, your bank account, and maybe even your legacy. Sounds too good to be true, doesn't it? But this isn't a myth or a story, it's reality. In this video, we're diving deep into one of the rarest and most valuable coins out there, the elusive 1964 no-mint mark Jefferson nickel. I'm going to reveal how to recognize it, what makes it worth so much, and why collectors are desperately hunting for it right now. Stick with me, because you might just be sitting on a gold mine and not even know it. Before we dive into how much this coin is worth today, let's talk about why the 1964 no-mint mark Jefferson nickel is so extraordinary. Imagine the US Mint, a well-oiled machine cranking out millions of coins each year. But every now and then, they produce an oddball, something unique that slips through the cracks, like our infamous no-mint mark nickel. Back in 1964, the US was ramping up coin production like never before to meet a growing demand, but in this rush, some incredible errors and anomalies slipped through, creating rare and highly valuable coins, including this very nickel. And here's the twist. These rare coins aren't just cherished by collectors, they're also loved by investors, millionaires, and those who understand that rare finds can yield massive returns. Ask yourself this: could you have one of these treasures hiding in your drawer right now? Because you're about to find out how to tell. Now, don't go digging through your couch cushions just yet. But keep watching, because what I'm about to tell you could be worth your time. Literally. So, what makes this nickel different from others? First off, the lack of a mint mark. Most 1964 nickels were made at the Denver and Philadelphia mints, which usually stamped their coins with a D or P mint mark. But every so often, one slips through without this mark. Why? Well, it's partly a mystery, but these unmarked coins hold a mystique that collectors absolutely love. The fact that this nickel has no mint mark immediately sets it apart, but the real question is, why is it worth so much? It all boils down to demand and rarity. Over the years, collectors and investors alike have learned to recognize the value of coins with rare variations, errors, or peculiar characteristics. And when you add an error, a no-mint mark, and pristine condition all in one, you get a collector's dream. So let me ask you this: how many other rare items have you walked right past, undervaluing them, maybe even throwing them out? Because if you have a 1964 no-mint mark Jefferson nickel, you could be in for a life-altering surprise. But here's the kicker: not every no-mint mark nickel is worth a fortune. It all comes down to one crucial factor that we'll cover in just a moment. And let me warn you, this is make or break information. So, let's talk value. In pristine condition, the 1964 no-mint mark Jefferson nickel can indeed fetch up to $1.4 million. Now, that number sounds extreme, and it's reserved for coins in exceptional mint state condition. To get this valuation, a coin needs to be almost perfect, with a mirror-like finish and free from scratches, wear, or tarnish. Think of it like finding an antique car that's never been driven, practically unheard of. But that's precisely why it's worth so much. If you're wondering how to cash in, there's a clear strategy. First, get your nickel professionally graded. Organizations like the Professional Coin Grading Service or the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation will analyze your coin to determine its true value, authenticity, and condition. This isn't just a formality, it's essential. Without a grading, even the rarest coin won't sell for its full potential. Once it's graded, collectors' auctions or private sales through reputable dealers are your best bet. With a coin like this, buyers are out there, often competing, which is a good thing for you. But remember, time is of the essence. With more and more people learning about the potential of these rare coins, the market is hot. Those who wait might just find the interest cooling off. Now, I know what you're thinking, asterisk. How do I avoid making a fool of myself at an auction if I don't even know how much my nickel is worth? Asterisk, don't worry, everyone starts somewhere. Just picture it as Antique Roadshow meets treasure hunt. Look, you don't want to be the person who had something priceless, only to toss it out or undervalue it. Imagine the stories you'll tell, the legacy you could leave, and the doors that a $1.4 million payday could open for you. Don't let this chance slip away. If you're serious about finding out whether your coins are worth a fortune, take a moment, look through your collection, and check for those tiny details that could mean everything. Take action now, get your coins checked, and don't leave a potential fortune sitting unrecognized. Pulling out a nickel and discovering it could be worth over $1 million. Sounds impossible? Well, maybe not. The 1985 P. Monticello Jefferson nickel is turning heads in the coin collecting world, and there's a chance you might be holding one of these rare treasures. Stick around because today, we're diving deep into what makes this coin so valuable, how to spot one, and most importantly, how to know if it's worth the jaw-dropping $1.30 million. Let's start with a question. Why would anyone pay over $1 million for a 5-cent coin? Most people don't give much thought to loose change. Maybe it's just clutter in a drawer or coins in a piggy bank. But coin collectors? They see potential treasure, and in the world of numismatics, even a small error or a unique mint mark can turn an ordinary nickel into a collector's gem. So what makes the 1985 P. Jefferson nickel special? The P mint mark, denoting it was minted in Philadelphia, was already a clue. But this coin has something extra, a combination of factors that makes it rare, desirable, and yes, worth potentially over $1 million. Now, hold on. Before you rush to check your loose change, let's talk about what exactly to look for and why this coin is unique. Did you ever think a nickel could be your golden ticket? That's right. That little 5-cent piece could be your ticket to a life of luxury. So, what exactly makes this coin so valuable? The story behind the 1985 P. Monticello Jefferson nickel is one of intrigue, rarity, and a little bit of luck. First, let's talk about its error, a small detail that went unnoticed until collectors realized what they were looking at. Imagine, for instance, a slight misalignment on the Monticello building engraved on the coin. It seems minor, right? But in the world of coin collecting, this error transformed the nickel from loose change into a rare treasure. And here's the twist. Only a handful of these coins were minted with this unique error, making them incredibly rare. The value of such a coin isn't just in the metal, it's in the story, the rarity, and the hunt. Collectors and enthusiasts alike crave these coins, and the more elusive they are, the higher their value. It's like a hidden piece of history that's almost impossible to find. Now, imagine how a collector would feel, finding this coin hidden in plain sight, in circulation, ready to be claimed. That's why these nickels are fetching unbelievable prices at auctions, with the highest bid reaching over $1.30 million. But is your 1985 P. Jefferson nickel one of the rare ones? Let's find out. Now, this is where it gets real. You might have a 1985 P. Jefferson nickel, but here's the million-dollar question. Is it the right one? Not all 1985 P. nickels are valuable, only those with specific characteristics. This is the moment where careful inspection becomes essential. Flip the coin over and look closely at the Monticello building. Are there any signs of a double strike? That's a slight misalignment where the engraving appears duplicated or ghosted. Notice any peculiar imperfections in the P mint mark? These subtle details are the key indicators that turn an everyday nickel into $1 million masterpiece. You might be wondering, why would anyone care so much about a little error? Well, collectors are like treasure hunters. They know that a minor flaw on a coin can be like finding a needle in a haystack. And with so few of these coins around, the stakes couldn't be higher. Transitioning to final act, building urgency. The clock is ticking. Every day, more people are discovering these coins and driving up their market value. Imagine knowing you missed out on $1 million coin because you didn't check. So, you've checked your nickel and see the signs. It's time to take action. The first step? Get your coin authenticated. This means having a professional evaluate it to confirm it's genuine and holds the unique characteristics needed to qualify as a high-value collector's piece. Next, if it checks out, consult a reputable auction house or a coin dealer specializing in rare coins. They'll guide you through the process, handle the valuation, and most importantly, connect you with buyers willing to pay a premium. Imagine the excitement, standing at an auction house, waiting for bids to climb. It's like a modern-day treasure hunt that ends in a payday beyond most people's wildest dreams. But here's the thing. As more people learn about the 1985 Jefferson nickel, its value will fluctuate. Are you holding on to a fortune that's quietly waiting to be discovered? Now's the time to find out. So, go ahead, check those drawers, grab that old coin jar, and examine every nickel. Because who knows? You could be holding the key to a new, wealthy lifestyle. Did you know that a single nickel could be worth over $1 million? Yes, you heard that right. While most people overlook their spare change, there's one coin you need to pay close attention to: the 2000p mint mark Monticello Jefferson nickel. This isn't just any nickel. Some of these rare coins have skyrocketed in value, reaching as high as $1.1 million in auctions. That's right, $1.1 million. Imagine holding a fortune in the palm of your hand, just waiting to be discovered. Think about the vacations, the homes, the dreams you could fund with just one of these coins. And here's the kicker: chances are you, or someone you know, might already have one of these hiding in a jar or an old drawer. Now, before you rush off to check every nickel you own, let's dive deeper into what makes this coin so unique and how you can tell if you have one of these jackpot coins. But it's not as easy as you might think. Finding one of these coins isn't just about luck. There's a bit of science, history, and keen observation involved. Are you ready to become a bit of a treasure hunter? Let's take a closer look. The 2000p Monticello Jefferson nickel doesn't appear to be anything special at first glance. After all, it looks just like any other nickel, the same familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the front and his famous Monticello estate on the back. But for those who know what to look for, this coin holds the potential for life-changing wealth. So, what's the secret? First, let's understand what the P mint mark signifies. The P represents the Philadelphia Mint, where this particular batch of coins was produced in 2000. Coins from this year are unique due to subtle variations that can often go unnoticed, but it's these tiny details that collectors and investors are on the lookout for. There are slight errors in the design of some of these nickels, errors that make them incredibly rare and, as a result, extremely valuable. You might be thinking, $1 million? For a nickel with a minor design mistake? Really? Trust me, this is no joke. Coin collectors and dealers pay top dollar for these rare finds. But here's the real question: how do you tell if you have one? Before we get into the identifying details, let's talk numbers. Because once you know the why, the how will make a lot more sense. And let's be real, if you could turn pocket change into a fortune, wouldn't you want to know exactly what's driving up these values? Alright, let's get into the specifics. When looking at a 2000p Monticello Jefferson nickel, one of the main characteristics that sets these high-value coins apart is the presence of a specific, rare error known as the full steps error. If you flip the nickel to the Monticello side, check the steps leading up to Jefferson's estate. A full steps error is when these steps appear clean, sharp, and uninterrupted, a result of a perfect strike during the minting process. This small detail can mean a huge difference in value. So, here's the thrilling part: if you have a 2000p nickel with those distinct full steps, you're looking at the jackpot. But even without those steps, there's still potential for significant value based on other factors, like condition and additional design quirks. And yes, coins in pristine, uncirculated condition will always fetch more at auction. Let's take a reality check. Before you start cashing in your life savings, make sure you aren't cleaning or handling any rare coin without gloves. You'd be surprised how many valuable coins lose value due to just a little bit of dirt or oil. Imagine dropping $1 million coin on the ground, scuffed up and worthless. Ouch, right? But here's the urgency factor. As more people catch on to this trend, the market is changing. Every day, collectors are adding these rare nickels to their personal collections. And once they're gone from circulation, finding one of these high-value nickels will only get harder and harder. So here's your action step. Check those jars, dig through that drawer, and scan every nickel you come across. If you're looking to turn a simple nickel into the opportunity of a lifetime, now is your chance. Keep an eye out for that 2000p Monticello Jefferson nickel with the full steps detail, Because that could be the key to a whole new lifestyle. Because here's the truth. Most people let opportunities slip through their fingers, sometimes literally. Imagine the excitement of realizing that a simple coin in your hands is worth $1 million or more. Don't let this chance pass by. Imagine holding a coin worth more than $1 million. Just think about it. A single nickel, lost in circulation, might just be the key to unlocking a life-changing fortune. Yes, I'm talking about the elusive 1988 D-Mint Mark Monticello Jefferson nickel, a seemingly ordinary 5-cent piece that's been stirring up shock waves in the numismatic world. Now, before you dismiss it as another hype, you should know that this particular coin has hit the market valued at a jaw-dropping $1.3 million. The burning question is, why? Why would anyone pay that much for a coin that was worth only a nickel back in '88? Well, let's travel back to 1988. While this year is remembered for major political events, iconic films, and even revolutionary gadgets, something unique was happening at the Denver Mint. In the rush of production, a rare few Jefferson Nickles were minted with a very subtle yet highly valuable flaw, making them one of a kind. It's this rare variation that has collectors willing to pay unimaginable amounts to get their hands on it. We'll reveal the specifics of this flaw shortly, so stay tuned. But here's the real mystery. What makes this tiny detail so special that it could turn a piece of pocket change into a millionaire's dream? Let's break it down. To the untrained eye, the 1988 D Monticello nickel might seem like any other. But numismatists, coin experts, look for the finer details. The reason this nickel is so coveted boils down to rarity, condition, and yes, a mint error that makes it an outlier. This error affects the coin's design, placing it in a league of its own among collectors. Imagine this coin is like a limited edition sports car. Now, you wouldn't find that just lying around, right? So naturally, collectors go nuts for it. And the same applies here. Here's what's crucial. Time is everything in this market. As these coins become harder to find, their value is only set to climb, like a hidden treasure whose map is slowly disappearing. Imagine holding on to that potential, knowing you could secure a comfortable future or even a once-in-a-lifetime adventure, all thanks to a single nickel. Now, the question is, how do you know if you have one? Could this coin be hiding in your drawer, or even rattling in a piggy bank? Alright, let's go through a quick identification process. Start by locating the mint mark, a small D right below the ear. Then, check the Monticello building on the coin's reverse side. Look closely for slight deviations in the architecture or text, indications of that valuable error. If you think you've got it, professional grading is essential, as certified coins fetch higher prices. So, could your next trip to the bank or your old coin collection be hiding a millionaire's fortune? Imagine finding one, holding it in your hand, realizing your path to wealth was right there all along. The only question is, will you seize the opportunity? Remember, coins like these may seem like a dime a dozen until you know what to look for. So go, check your collection, dig through those drawers, and see if you have the 1988 D Mint Mark Monticello Jefferson nickel. Your path to wealth could start with a single coin. Imagine having a nickel tucked away in a drawer or, even better, hiding in your loose change, and it's worth $1.2 million. Sounds impossible? What if I told you it's not? Today, we're diving into the fascinating story of the 1989 P Monticello Jefferson nickel, a coin that's become the unicorn of nickels, a collector's fantasy, and yes, a potential ticket to a life of luxury. What would you do with $1 million coin? Would you sell it? Or frame it? Well, stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll not only know what makes this nickel so valuable, but you might just be inspired to start hunting through your old change. The 1989 P Jefferson nickel is, on the surface, just another piece of pocket change. It's a 5-cent coin with Thomas Jefferson's face on one side and Monticello on the other. Ordinary, right? But here's where it gets interesting. Rare coins, especially those with unique histories or minting errors, can be worth fortunes. And this particular nickel is a standout. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's a nickel. How can it be worth more than my car? That's what collectors love about coins. Just one little quirk, one unusual mark, or a minting error, and bam, that nickel becomes a gold mine. Today, we're not talking about a small jump in value, we're talking about turning 5 cents into $1.2 million. But what makes this coin so rare? Let's dig a little deeper. Act 2, the intriguing mystery behind the 1989 P. Jefferson nickel, 3:15 to 7 o'clock. In 1989, the Philadelphia Mint produced thousands of Jefferson nickels. For most of them, the P Mint mark is crisp and clear. But with this specific coin, something went wrong. There are unusual errors that collectors are still trying to fully explain, and that's what makes this particular nickel so valuable. It's about rarity, something collectors can't find anywhere else. Picture it like a diamond with an unusual color or a car with a one-of-a-kind engine. Only a few of these 1989 P. Monticello nickels made it out with this mysterious error. Some collectors believe it's because of a faulty die at the Philadelphia Mint, which could mean there are other coins just like it, possibly still out there. And here's where it gets even more fascinating. Not all collectors agree on how many of these nickels actually exist. Some say there are just a handful, while others speculate that there could be dozens, just waiting to be discovered. Could one be hiding in your change jar? Imagine cashing in on a nickel you forgot about. Imagine that trip to the bank, walking in with an old coin and walking out a millionaire. Yeah, feels like winning the lottery, doesn't it? So, you might be thinking, how do I know if I've struck gold? How can I identify this rare coin among other ordinary nickels? Step 1. Pull out a magnifying glass and carefully examine the P Mint mark on the front. Look closely, as any sign of distortion or doubling could mean you're holding the right one. Step 2. Check for any unusual texture or blemish on Monticello's structure. This specific nickel has some distinctive minting errors around the Monticello design. And here's the kicker, even if you don't find this exact nickel, you could still find other valuable coins just by taking a closer look. Coin collecting is one of those rare hobbies where the smallest treasures can lead to big rewards. All it takes is patience, persistence, and maybe a little bit of luck. So, are you going to go through your old change and see if you've got this $1 million nickel? Because this isn't just a story. This is your chance to get in on the hunt, to be part of something big. Remember, life can change in the blink of an eye, or the glint of an old nickel. Don't let the opportunity slip by. If this video sparked even a bit of curiosity, start your own treasure hunt today. That old coin in your drawer might just be your ticket to the life you've dreamed of.